Welcome to a Dream Vision 7 Radio Network's Radio Host Extravaganza winner. Each year in the spring, we have a radio host contest. For those who've always wondered about a radio show, it's an opportunity to get their feet wet hosting their own global radio show on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Together, let's welcome these remarkable people whose goal is to make a difference in people's lives. To learn more, go to dreamvision7radio.com.
Hello, and welcome everyone. Good day. I'm going to be starting today's segment by letting you know who I am. I'm Sherry from Sherry's Metaphysical Corner. This is my first episode here with you at Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. This is a wonderful, wonderful radio network, and I'm glad and proud to be part of it. So I'm going to start off by giving you a little background about myself, and then I'll go into the work that I do. I've been in the metaphysical community for about 22, 23 years now as a spiritual teacher, practitioner. I incorporate different healing modalities that best suit my clients' needs. I've participated in expos throughout New England. I've offered my services at hospitals. I've given lectures and live webinars to help educate people. I share an office in Plastow, New Hampshire with Dr. Tony Libro at Libro Center for Wellbeing. He and I actually partner together, and we actually share our services and provide a total care facility, including medical intuitive consultations, kinesiology, nutrition care, and supplements. He uses actually standard process. It's a wonderful product. It's organic. The services I offered through the years have actually helped me to grow and expand into who I am today. I started out with Reiki, and then I moved into biofield tuning with tuning forks, the Melchizedek method using sacred geometries, sound baths with crystal singing bowls. And at present, I now work with the emotion code and magnets. It's similar to kinesiology with muscle testing, and I can't speak more highly about this particular modality. It's just a fascinating and efficient modality that was actually a gift given to us. It was just an amazing, amazing modality. It was given to us through Dr. Brad Nelson. He's been using it now for about 30 years. It's just wonderful. It's globally now. In the past, I've actually produced a meditation CD with crystal singing bowls, a podcast, and at present I produce a monthly educational community TV segment with HC Media. And my last endeavor, and I'm very proud of this, was my first book. It was published this year in January and titled A Change in Perception, Divinely Guided by Something Greater Than Myself That Connects Us All. It talks about opening the mind to possibilities beyond what's directly in front of us, to educate and inspire. That was the inspiration for this, was to help educate and inspire people to kind of think outside the box. So some of the topics in the book will be energies, orbs, yin and yang energy, food, and keeping the balance of the human body between alkaline and acidic. Testimonials, communication with nature, such as trees, oceans, and I do a lot of communicating with the oceans. It's such fascinating work. Storms, dolphins and whales, meditation, the Palladians and astral travel, the New Earth, 36 frequencies, images of orbs I've personally taken through the years, HEB, that is highly evolved beings, some of the modalities that I've worked with through the years, and up to present day, again, with the emotion code and the body code. So to learn more about my book, A Change in Perception, and read an excerpt, go to my website, energyworkstudio.com, and click on the book icon. A link will appear that you can go in and read an excerpt, or you can actually order the book if you like. I'm clairaudient, which simply means I hear the other side communicate with us. So many of the chapters in the book are questions and answers with my spirit team involving random insights from family and friends that have crossed over, as well as my spirit team. So I thought that, this would make it kind of fun and interesting. So I'm going to read a very short piece in one of the chapters in this book, a short piece, and it's called Energies. And I think that you will find this quite interesting. There's a lot of information in this book, jammed in this book, that I think people are going to find truly remarkable. So let's see. Even some of the information that was coming through to me, I was a little surprised at. So let's just see. I'll get the page for you and jump right in. So we're looking at energies. And let me just get my really heavy glasses so I can actually read what I have put in this book. Just do that. Energies are fascinating. I learned a lot about energies using the tuning forks when I first got involved in more work with the modalities. Tuning forks and the Melchizedek method using sacred geometry is when I first got to get more introduced to energies. So in my book, this is strictly directly from my spirit team. And as we begin, my spirit team says, as we move on, we would like to discuss another topic, energies. The energies one carries can slow down the progress of moving forward if they become too heavy. The energy stagnates and it becomes heavy. That's when the physical body becomes ill. The energy in the body moves slowly. The organ's vibration and speed to move more slowly, creating disease in the system and eventually discord or lack of harmony within. The harmonious state of being is crucial for the human being to expand its consciousness. As one becomes interested in taking care of the self, a spark is ignited. And it is that moment that the subconscious mind is activated in a linear timeline. It opens to us. As one meditates and listens, it moves one's frequency in the stillness, the quiet. It's the silence one hears. It can become deafening at times once we've become better connected. Moving forward, we'd like to discuss something else with you. It's inevitable that people will ask, how long has the human race been moving forward? How long have they truly been on this path of moving forward? Since World War I, World War II, the Civil War, Vietnam? The answer is since the beginning of time. The frequency at this level, 3D, is slow and heavy. It takes time for enlightenment. Enlightenment comes to those who persist, even in their darkest hour. They hold faith in something larger than themselves. When one holds faith in that thought, one continues to move forward. It's when one stops believing one is better than that's what's taking place in these dark moments. That's when one stagnates. It's in the stagnation and disbelief that one remains in neutral, building heavy vibration frequency in and around themselves. So the way to move forward is through love. First and foremost, one must love the self before one can understand and love others. We're certain many of you will have heard this phrase, love thyself. So that was just a quick excerpt from my book, directly from my spirit team. That entire chapter, actually, on energies was just them speaking to me. So I think that more and more people are going to find this fascinating. So let me just see, where else would I would like to go and what else would I like to talk to you about today? Let's see. It actually it was an inspirational writing. My spirit team worked with me for the last 3 years to put something together to help educate people and to inspire people. It was about opening the mind to possibilities beyond what's actually directly in front of us to educate and inspire. So I think that some of this you will find so fascinating. So to learn more about my book, A Change in Perception, you can read an excerpt, go to my website, energyworkstudio.com, and click on the book icon. A link will appear, and you can read an excerpt from it. Like I said, I am clairaudient, so many of the chapters in this book are questions and answers between myself and my spirit team. There's lots of random insights in there. There's information from family and friends that have crossed over, as well as my spirit team. So, let's see, what else do I want to talk to you about today? Well, while we're in the midst of writing this, I myself found the book and the information that they were bringing through fascinating. So again, if you're interested, you can check that out. And if you have any questions, you can certainly email me at energy4522@gmail.com. My spirit team communicates with me regularly. And I want to be clear with this. Any one of us can tune in to our own divine spirit team, our guides, our angels, our light beings. We each have a soul group. This soul group stays with us from the beginning of time to the day that we cross back over and we go home. This is actually not home. This is just like a playground. This is a place to come here and learn some things that we felt we wanted to experience in physical form. When we go home, we're not in physical form anymore, so we continue to learn, but on a different level, a different frequency. So I believe that each of us, with a heavy balance of energy work on themselves, exercise, meditation, even meditation of just 10 minutes a day will help. Clean eating, organic food can and does, truly can and does, open us up to all of them and replaces doubt with trust and understanding. So if you've tuned in late, if you've just tuned in now and you're listening, you can catch this again on Thursdays between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Go to www.dreamvision7radio.com. Okay, so as we continue, I'd like to talk a little bit about the work that I'm involved in now with the emotion code and the body code, just to give you some insight of its inner workings and the fundamentals. The emotion code is a form of muscle testing using magnets to locate and remove trapped emotion energies stuck in the field. It's tapping into the subconscious of a person or an animal. And I do work on animals. I do a lot of remote distance work. The majority of my work is remote distance work. And, long before the pandemic started this year, I've been doing remote work since 2012. I have clients across the globe. Some in Australia, Hong Kong, Spain, France, as well as across the United States. So remote distance healing is quantum physics. You can move energy from one place to another. And it's not rocket science. It just takes a little bit of time to get our minds wrapped around that, because we were all raised with, whatever is right in front of us. We need proof. Whatever's right in front of us, that's what we have to believe works. So wrap your mind around that. Remote distance work does indeed help. And it's as equally effective as somebody coming to my office. So I'm going to give you some insight on the fundamentals of the emotion code. It works with, it's very much like kinesiology. It uses muscle testing with magnets. And we locate and remove trapped emotion energy that's stuck in the field. It's tapping into the subconscious of a person or an animal. And the key understanding here with the emotion code has to do with the mind itself. We actually divide the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious mind is where we live and make daily decisions. The subconscious mind is the bulk of our intelligence. Normally emotions are felt, then they're processed. Sometimes emotional energy becomes trapped and needs help to be released. This usually happens when the body is vulnerable and weak because of an illness or something, or the emotion that we experienced was very intense, like somebody going through a divorce, a death, loss of a job. Those are all very difficult things. A car accident. Those are all very traumatic. A trapped emotion is a small ball of energy. It's about the size of a baseball, but it can be as large as a cantaloupe. Now let me explain something. Everything is energy. Thoughts, words, the human body, organs, furniture, buildings, cars, airplanes, animals. I think you get the idea. This also includes emotions. Emotions that are challenging are not processed, and that's why they get stuck in our physical body. And they hold a vibration just like everything else. It is an energy. These trapped emotions are usually under the skin surface until we go through the process of identifying which it might be with a flow chart that we use and which organ was disrupted. It's amazing work. It can actually tune right in and focus on which organs were disrupted and the tissue surrounding that area, that organ. The trapped emotions can occur at any age and generally begin in our youth and remain until they're released. So think about that. I mean, let's say, some of my clients are well in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Excuse me. And the older we are, the more trapped emotion we have in our system. And what ends up happening is we have this in layers. So something in layers upon layer upon layer. We can have doubles of, many duplicates of the same trapped emotion. And that is what causes so much dense energy in the field, because it's duplicated. So let me just give you some more information. These can cause inflammation in the body, physical pain in the body, congestion, self-sabotage, reoccurring emotional distress, depression, anxiety, and a whole lot more. Those are only a few. There's 60 emotions that we find on our flow chart that we use. Trapped emotions are released with three rolls of a magnet. And what we use is the governing meridian. That is Chinese medicine. And we only use that one meridian in this work. We don't use any of the others. We go up over the crown from the front. It actually starts at between the lip, upper lip and nose, and it goes up over the crown and down the back of your spine to the base. So now when we find a trapped emotion, we use a magnet, and with intention, the magnets are very powerful carriers of intention. We place it right in the field once we find the trapped emotion and which organ was stuck with it, and release it. It's that simple. Doesn't seem like it could be possible, though, does it? I was actually a little bit blown away by this work when I first came into this 2 years ago. So it definitely has really worked to help so many people. I can't speak more highly about it. With each emotion we experience, it's pure energy and has its own specific vibration, like every other kind of energy. So when one is trapped in the body, it's disrupting the vibration of an organ. And that's the disruption. The flow of energy shifts. Hence, the organs and surrounding tissue become weak. And if not removed, the system starts to break down, creating disease in the system. That's how we actually create disease in our body, because everything in our body is vibrating at a specific frequency for us. We all have the same organs, but everybody's vibration is different. So no two people's frequencies are going to be the same. That's what makes us unique. So if we remove the trapped emotion that's breaking down and creating disease in the system, you will feel a shift in your body. I've had many people come on my show. I do a live Facebook program on Thursday evenings at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time on my Facebook page. Just go to my name, Cheryl Como, Cheryl with an S, and just tune in. I do this every week. It's free. I offer people just a sample. They can have 3 trapped emotions released from their system using this work. It gives them an opportunity to try this out. Just see how you feel. I had a woman contact me from Oklahoma that was watching the segment. And she said, and I usually have them gauge where their pain level is, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain, 0 to 10. She had hip pain. Her right hip was really bothering her. She had done all kinds of things to try to help release the pain, whatever it was. She had been to chiropractors and doctors and painkillers, and nothing seemed to help. So she said, I have nothing left to lose. I'm going to try this. So I said, great, good for you. So she tried it. And I said, where's your pain level right now before we start? She said, it's at about an 8. It's very bad today. And I said, okay. So I released 3 trapped emotions from her system using the magnets, and I disconnected from her, and I'll go into that more in a minute. And I said, so where is your pain level right now? And she said, the pain level is phenomenal. This is crazy. I don't even know how this happened. She said, but the pain level has to be at least a 3. It's dropped so much, I can't believe it. So this is the very reason that I started offering free samples. It's just a sample. Actually, trapped emotions are the most common underlying cause of imbalance in the organs of the body. I'm going to repeat that. Trapped emotions are the most common underlying cause of imbalance in the body to date. So if interested in this fascinating work, go to my website. I've created a video that you can watch, and it gives a discussion and a demonstration. Just simply click on, once you're in my website, energyworkstudio.com, click on the icon, Emotion Code Video. I purposely set that up so that people could actually see. It's about 15 or 20 minutes long, so that people could actually see that there's a demonstration, there's a long discussion about how it works, the fundamentals, how it works and the whys, demonstrating it with the magnets. I think that you'll find it very educational. And then again, if you have any questions, you can certainly email me, energy4522@gmail.com. Now keep an open mind. I'm going to go over a few more things with you. Keep an open mind with this. All right, so you know what? We're going to take a break for just a couple of minutes here. And I'm going to go over a couple of things with you just to help you keep an open mind about the human body and that it is electric. We are electric beings. So on that note, I'm going to take a break for a minute, and we'll come back, and I'll go over some more things.
Ever wonder what it's like to have your own radio show? Well, wonder no longer, because you can dip into the radio airwaves by being host for the day on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. It's a fabulous way to get your radio feet wet. It's an opportunity to market your business, modality, or book. Have a guest, mention a sponsor, and take callers. Or you may want to facilitate a lesson by going solo. It's up to you. Listeners can be online, mobile, in cars with Bluetooth, or listen through Amazon's Echo by asking, Alexa, play Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. For more details, go to dreamvision7radio.com and click on Host for the Day.
Join us every Wednesday at 2 p.m. and 2 a.m. Eastern on the Dream Vision 7 Radio Network for Heart Living with Dr. Cynthia Bischoff. where you'll discover life wisdom and achieve greater spiritual awareness. Through Cynthia's coaching tips, healing stories, and inspirational interviews, you'll improve your relationships, find greater balance, and achieve inner peace today. Join thousands who've transformed their lives through heart living.
Are you ready to shed those fearful, worrisome thoughts and live a more joy-filled life? From the heart of her critically acclaimed book, Starving Your Fears, author and PhD Joyce Logan is passionate about helping you to live the life you desire with wisdom, empathy, and laughter. Join Dr. Joyce on Fridays at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Starving Your Fears is all about helping each other to stop going through life white-knuckled and hanging on for dear life as we deal with so many of life's stressors. Take the journey with Joyce now and learn how to go from panic to peace in a flash.
Okay, so we're back, everybody. So let me just continue, and I think you'll find this fascinating. Keep an open mind and think of the body like you do your homes. It has electricity running through it. And if it becomes overloaded, a fuse will actually blow out, or it'll blow a circuit breaker. Well, it's the same premise for the human being. We are electric beings, and we run on circuits. So the energy that's running through our human bodies is a circuit grid. So let me just give you a couple of examples here. I think you might find this fascinating. The gallbladder, for instance. If there's a circuit break from, let's say, somebody is eating too much fat, it'll cause the right knee pain simply because it's on the same circuit. So it's interfering with that circuit path, that circuit line. Paired organs, that would be your adrenal glands, kidneys, lungs. The organ on the left side is always the main energy source. The organ on the right is always your backup or your reserve. So as a result, the left side organs will usually become imbalanced first. Adrenals. Then in this is one reason we see left knee pain. When the adrenal is out of balance, it's an indicator or a symptom of adrenal imbalance. And remember that word, symptom. I'm going to go over that in a minute. Kidneys. When it's imbalanced energetically, it will imbalance muscles in that area. Hence, one tends to have low back pain because they're on the same circuit. Almost every time when someone has a low back issue, one of the kidneys. PTSD. It's a huge problem, and it's getting bigger, and it's caused by trapped emotion. Phobias. It's an extreme and irrational fear of something that poses little or no actual danger. Usually phobias are the result of one or two trapped emotions. Symptoms, and here's that word I was telling you to listen for, symptoms are the only way the body has to communicate to us and inform us that there's something wrong with the body. And what do? We jump out and run to the doctor and get a pill to suppress the symptom. Trapped emotions are far more abundant than any other kind of imbalance we can find in the body. We've seen as much as 1,000 trapped emotions in one person. Processing. The healing period after an emotional release is generally 2 to 3 days. One may experience emotional ups and downs, crying, sleeplessness, vivid dreams, or simply just feel really, really tired. It doesn't last. It's just the body's way of adjusting to the release of low vibration leaving the body. And I always suggest, strongly suggest actually, to use an Epsom salt bath or just a foot bath, a foot soak, if you don't want to do a bath. A lot of people don't like baths. So you can just soak your feet in Epsom salt. And I suggest 1/2 a cup to a full cup Epsom salt or Himalayan salt. It's very calming to the nervous system. Now, you could use this every day of the week. Let's say you had a bad day at the office. Come home and take an Epsom salt bath or a foot soak. It will calm your nervous system down immediately. It's very, very effective. It's wonderful. So when my clients come in and they're having work done, I tell them, do the Epsom salt baths or foot soaks as often as you want during the adjustment period because it'll help you. And to stay very hydrated. Water, 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 water. Let me just see if I can give you a little more information on the emotion code. I had some specific things that I wanted to discuss and go over with you, and I thought, what better way to do that? Somebody asked me a good question. How do we use this to get more on track, to become lighter? It's important to realize that we all have emotional baggage. It's like dragging around suitcases full of rocks through life. That's what it feels like to the human body. Everything we're capable of attaining is slowed down. We want to soar, but we can't. So getting rid of these baggage, these luggage suitcases full of rocks, so to speak, helps us become lighter. And the emotion code is just a tool to help one cut loose the baggage so that we can move forward. Let's just see. I'm not sure if people have ever heard of heart wall or inherited trapped emotion, but that's something that is very, very unique to the body code. I think that's why I was attracted to this work. I mean, I've just, when you move along in life, any of you, you're all wonderful writers and you're all wonderful authors and energy practitioners, and you all know as we move forward in life, we evolve. Our consciousness expands and we evolve. We learn more and we expand more, and we can actually help each other more. And that's what it's about, helping each other. So I'm going to give you a little information about inherited trapped emotion. Some of the emotion that we're carrying around may not even be our own fault. It might be inherited emotional energy that we inherited from mom and dad and from beyond that. So the inherited trapped emotion comes from one parent, from your mother or your father, not from both. And it just goes on and on and on. They inherited something. If you have an inherited trapped emotion, they inherited something from one of their parents. And then we just go back in time and find where the originator was. So sometimes these inherited emotions are short-circuiting us in our present day because we're electric beings. Think of it as radio receivers. This life is a manifestation of our own desires. So our trapped emotions and their emotional baggage, all of that combined kind of weigh us down. So we have work to do. So getting rid of and releasing trapped emotion enables the body to become more of a body of light again, as we were intended. Then we're able to attract the things we really want without guilt. 90% of people's physical pain is due to their emotional baggage. Our natural state of being is to attract abundance in all things automatically. Automatically. The belief in this work is that there are as many trapped emotions in the body as there are days in the year, 365. That's why I say the emotion code is one of the most powerful tools created to help. And I have to agree with that 365, because it's not something that you're going to just have like from yesterday. You were, had an argument with a boss or a coworker or something going on in the family, or a month ago or a year ago, and you have trapped emotion from that. This is ongoing. This could be something that you acquired from childhood. And it just keeps attracting that same frequency, that same density. And once we have that and we keep going, it just keeps piling up and piling up in the system. That's what breaks down the system. So I'm going to just read off to you just a few of the trapped emotions. Now, there's 60 on the flow chart that I use. Abandonment, betrayal, forlorn, lost, love unreceived, anxiety, despair, nervousness, worry, rejection, sadness, sorrow, anger, bitterness, guilt, hatred, resentment, blaming, dread, fear, horror, peeved, humiliation, jealousy, longing, overwhelm, efforts unreceived, heartache, insecurity, vulnerability, hopelessness, helplessness, lack of control, low self-esteem, depression, frustration, panic, taken for granted, conflict, creative insecurity, terror, unsupported, pride, shame, shock, unworthy, worthless. And shame, I want to just tell you, is the lowest frequency, the absolute lowest vibration. We don't really have anywhere to go once we have that in our system. It's a very low, dense energy, and one generally, when they feel that low, they have nowhere to go. They're so ashamed. That emotion is so strong that they almost want to kill themselves, and a lot of people do when they have that, commit suicide. It's very strange, very sad, but it's a very low, dense frequency. So some of the organs in the body, let me just give you a quick overview. The kidneys and the bladder, those two organs vibrate at the exact same frequency as blaming, dread, fear, horror, conflict, creative insecurity, terror, unsupported, wishy-washy, and peeved. Those two organs are vibrating at those particular frequencies that these emotions put out. That's why they're collected near those two on the chart. Same thing with the spleen or the stomach. These emotions are vibrating at the same frequency and affect spleen, and stomach. And I take that back. They're not vibrating at the same frequency. Their emotional charge is put out by these two organs. So the spleen and stomach put out these emotions, particularly anxiety, despair, disgust, nervousness, worry, failure, hopelessness, helplessness, lack of control, low self-esteem. So I just want to make sure that I'm clear and correct myself. It's not that they are vibrating at the same frequency as the organs. The organs are vibrating much higher. It's the emotions that these two organs are vibrating at. So if it's a low density, it's going to slow down the organs. So just so that we're clear. So there's 6 rows of organs that we work with. And in those 6 rows, there's the heart, small intestine, spleen and stomach, lung and colon, liver or gallbladder, kidneys and bladder, glands and sex organs. And in those 6 cell clusters, there's 60 emotions that we can find that are causing them to not work efficiently, just so that we're clear. So sometimes there are certain patterns that have become ingrained in us, and often it's just time to get rid of emotional baggage, and in turn it automatically changes the way we think, the way we feel about things. It shifts us. It's amazing. I've seen it almost immediately in some people. I've witnessed so many benefits in people and animals, and it's for that reason I offer the free samples of 3 trapped emotions on my live Facebook segment on Thursday evenings, 8:30 p.m. We're living in a tremendously interesting time. The earth has a vibration just like us, and it is shifting and transforming. We can feel it. Even people that are not involved in anything to do with metaphysical work, they can feel something is amiss, something is different. Not in a negative way, but they can just feel something is different, something's changing. You know, the way of life is changing, the vibration of their core even, of things around them is changing. It's just a global thing. Everyone can feel something, see something happen globally. So we need to move with it to be lighter rather than stay in the shades of gray. It's the shades of gray in our thinking that are trapped emotions stuck. So finding And releasing these can change events in our lives. This stuff is real. Here we are in the 21st century, where more and more people are becoming more involved in such things as yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation, God, or universal intelligence, and thinking outside of the box, willing to try such things. Back in the 40s and the 50s, this was unheard of. But this change has been coming on for the last 70 years, like a wave. All right, I'll be back in a moment. We're going to take a break.
Looking for a fun and relaxing getaway? Omega Rest and Rejuvenation Retreats are a great way to unwind and renew your spirit. You can stretch your body, quiet your mind, and do as much or as little as you choose. Join us in May and we'll waive the daily fees. Located in Rhinebeck, in New York's beautiful Hudson Valley, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. That's 877-944-2002.
Delight your kids with an enchanting journey by reading the Paper Doll Kids children's book by Deborah Beauvais and Janine Sullivan. There's even a catchy tune, Kids for Love Song, produced by Bob Sherwood and sung by kids just like yours. The story weaves around 7 paper dolls flying around the world doing good deeds as they bring important attention to our endangered animal friends. There's even a magical ring with a universal message. Kids become interested in service projects, action through compassion, and planting seeds that nurture positive change. The Paper Doll Kids and Kids for Love Song are a production of the Kids for Love Project. Get the book now on Amazon Kindle and the song on CD Baby or iTunes.
After narrowly surviving the attack on Sandy Hook Elementary, first grade teacher Caitlin Roy DeBellis was left searching for answers that would never come. Eventually, she chose to focus on questions that could be answered. How do I make sure this tragedy doesn't define us? How do we get our control back? Those 2 questions led her to found the 501c3 nonprofit organization Classes for Classes. When gifts poured into their classroom, she decided they would help someone else by paying it forward and being kind. This developed into a social network which allows K-8 classrooms to connect so that every student in the United States can learn these crucial lessons. Classes for Classes' mission is to build students' social-emotional intelligence by connecting them to care. All C4C projects are crowdfunded. Any teacher in the U.S. can visit classesforclasses.org. That's classes, the number 4, classes.org. Sign up today.
Okay, so hello everyone, we're back. And, back in the 40s and 50s, this stuff wasn't even heard of. So we couldn't even talk about this stuff, never mind seek it out. And that wasn't all that many years ago. So we've grown exponentially since then. So right now, with the emotion code work that I'm doing, there are, believe it or not, 5,000 certified practitioners around the world globally in 78 countries using this work. We're just vessels of divine energy here to help each other. And that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. So, as I continue to give you a little more information, let me just give you something on the heart wall. The heart wall is really an interesting part of this work with the emotion code. It's a large piece of the puzzle. 93% actually of people have a heart wall and they don't know it. Sometimes when we tune into a client, we're tuning into their subconscious and asking if there's a heart wall. And the chances of them not having one are like 1% that we'll get a no. Not that they won't have one, but we'll get a no, and they do have one because there could be a chance that there is a hidden heart wall, and they need it. And the subconscious is what creates the heart wall because you're going through something that's very horrific, very traumatic, and your subconscious feels you need the heart wall, so it will stay in place. So we work with the heart wall by tuning into the person's subconscious. So we just meditate very briefly, just for a couple of seconds, and see if we can tune in to the consciousness of divine source. That's where the information comes from, and ask permission. You have to always ask permission to connect to the subconscious of the person or the animal you're working on. So when we get permission, we tune in. And I always ask them to make sure that they stay very hydrated and drink as much water as they can continuously while I'm working on them. And I do the same thing, constantly. So when we're working to release a heart wall, it will release somewhere between 8 and 12 layers. Again, there's that word, layers, because it can create duplicates. And we can only release between 8 and 12 layers at any given time because the body becomes too tired releasing more than that. And the subconscious will tell us, will let us know when the human body we're working on or animal has had enough. And we can't go beyond that. And it usually takes anywhere between, and this is an average, but between 4 and 5 sessions to release a heart wall completely from a person's body. And that was created some time ago by the subconscious, by stealing a little bit of energy from the trapped emotion that's already in your body and dragging it up to your heart chakra area, and then creating a wall with the energies of trapped emotions that are already in your body. That's how it creates the wall. So the body will take about 3 days. I've gone through that before with you, but it's a process. It's an adjustment that the body goes through as it's releasing. I also suggest to my clients to soak, again, you've heard this before, with the Epsom salts to help your body help itself. Calms the nervous system. Let me just see if there's something else. I don't want to get too redundant here and boring, because you can go on and on and on and on and on. But so that's pretty much the basics that I wanted to go over about the heart wall. Now I'm going to give you some symptoms. Symptoms of a heart wall. There's 5. One is low immune system or low energy. This is a person that can feel, that can also feel like they just don't fit in. That's low immune system. That's a sign. That's one sign. Out of touch with your purpose in life. Feel foggy about real direction. Sometimes the head confirms your purpose, but the heart hasn't. And the distinction is we feel more joy and happiness when we're settled into true purpose, whatever that is. So there's a disconnect is what we're showing you when there's a heart wall. There's a disconnect between, and this has been proven, there's a brain in the heart and there's a brain in the head. And there's a disconnect between the two brains when we have a heart wall. So a desensitized heart is number 3. With this, one can see love coming to them, but they can't actually feel it. They can't feel anything because that wall is up, preventing that feeling energy to come out. It's preventing it. So what ends up happening consequently, and it's kind of sad, and we've all seen this, but when we don't feel, what happens is it leads to people that are in a codependency relationship. You can either be codependent on someone or something to fill up one's heart. And with that, one never has their heart filled. This person can take abuse. They'll stay in relationships, and they don't even know why. They really don't even want to, but they're staying in physically abusive relationships or emotional, sexually, and they just stay in troubled relationships. And we've seen this time and time again. And we ask ourselves, why is that person staying there? It's crazy. They have a heart wall. Both of them have a heart wall, and that's why they stay in that relationship. And they keep adding layers to that heart wall. And so consequently, their partner is doing the same thing. And eventually, the problem, they become depressed or anxious. They can even form PTSD. It's like heroin. It's like an addict. First, you're not addicted, but little by little, coming back to it, they start to become more addicted to this behavior, building more layers. It's like taking drugs. So that's 3. 4, love communication becomes estranged. This is a wonderful example that Dr. Brad uses, and I love this example. It's kind of like a butterfly leaving the heart. When you meet someone, it doesn't have to be necessarily a love interest, but when you have a message leaving your heart to another person, that message coming out of your heart has to go through that heart wall that's filled with all of these trapped emotions. It's just got to bump into all of these before it leaves the field and gets to the other person or the receiver. That receiver feels that vibration. They feel that vibe that you're sending out. Even though it wasn't the original message, the vibe attached to it, because of all of the trapped emotions it had to bump into, that vibe, it feels that. So it's like, when you've been to like a wedding or a conference or some kind of a big affair, and there's a lot of people sitting at each table, 8 or 10 people at a table. Isn't there one person that you've come across sitting at the table that is like, I don't really like that person's energy. There's something off about them. We've all experienced that. That's a heart wall. Their vibe that they put off is shut down because of the heart wall. And you feel it. That's what you're feeling. And lastly, lack of abundance in all things. Lack of abundance in self-love. Lack of abundance in your wealth. Lack of abundance in friends. Lack of abundance in a happy job. Lack of abundance in a loving companion. And the reason I include wealth, the heart wall will actually block you from being in the flow of financial freedom. It's like constantly looking for that big break. You're always looking for, how come I can't make ends meet? How come I can't do this? I can't do that. You're constantly looking. So when you're in the flow, abundance is going to follow in all things, dreams, loves, aspirations. So that is why I have just fallen so in love with this work. It's just utterly amazing. So I think I have covered as much as I want to go over with you at this moment in time. Let me just say, as we start to wrap up briefly here, to learn more about, again, the emotion code, go to my website, energyworkstudio.com, and click on the icon, Emotion Code Video. It's a brief discussion and demonstration to bring understanding and the fundamentals of this work. And the video is about 15 or 20 minutes long. It's educational, and I think you'll find it fascinating, or helpful anyway, interesting. And my book, if you're looking for more information about my book, you can do the same thing. While you're in my website, click on the book. A link will appear that you can click on that will allow you to go in and read an excerpt from my book. And the excerpt that they have put in, the publisher was Balboa Press. They did a wonderful job putting that website together. And the excerpt is, I'm going to say 6 or 7 pages to be able to read. And it's a slider. You just slide from the right to the left. You'll see the little arrow. And you can just keep reading and keep reading and keep reading. It's wonderful. They did a great job putting it together. But you can read an excerpt from that, or you can even order a book if you're interested in it. A Change in Perception. There's an ebook, there's a soft cover, and a hard cover. Everything is right there, and you sign in as a guest. And that's how you order the book if you're interested. Now, if you want to make an appointment with me for the body code, if this was fascinating to you, while you're in my website, go to Acuity Scheduling. All my services will be visible. Click the emotion code. You'll see whatever it is that you're looking for. I have 2 separate single sessions you can click on. One is 30 minutes, one is 45 minutes. And then there's also a 5-visit package. Select the date and time that's appropriate for you and purchase. That's it. It's very, very simple and very easy. Now, I just wanted to let you know, just to recap, the Facebook Live segment that I offer is always on Thursday evenings, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just go to my name. You can friend me if you like. I think if you want to participate, I think you need to friend me. And you can leave comments, you can participate. Otherwise, you will only be able to watch. But I'm not 100% positive of that. So try it, test the waters. And if you can't comment, then you'll know that you need to friend me. But I offer it every week, Thursday evenings, and it's just a sample so that people can see how this work benefits them. It's just amazing. And again, it's for either emotional work or physical pain. It's not just one or the other. So if you have emotional distress, anxiety attacks, PTSD, What's the pain level? 0 to 10, 10 being the worst. Or if you have physical pain, stomach ache, headache, elbows hurt, your wrists hurt, backache, your knees hurt, whatever that pain level is, or even arthritis, whatever. 0 to 10, 10 being the worst. We work on you, release, we find 3 trapped emotions, and we also check to see if you have a heart wall. And then we disconnect from your subconscious so that we're not carrying each other around. So, I hope that you found this segment interesting. You can catch it on Thursdays at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on DreamVision7Radio.com. Check it out. Sherry's Metaphysical Corner. I hope you found this helpful and interesting. You can contact me at energy4522@gmail.com or my website again, energyworkstudio.com. My phone number, if you want to call me, 978-512-3333. That's the office. So there's plenty of contact. In the meantime, I hope everybody enjoyed this. Have a great day. Have a wonderful weekend. And I will be back again next month. Take care. Stay tuned. Stay connected. As always, Sherry.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.